Time. You know what time it is. Cheers to the weekend. Cheers to Friday. I'm so glad you guys are here with us. We are closing out Women's History Month with a good friend of mine, someone who's amazing and very special, and I haven't seen in so long. Air hugs.
Virtual hug.
Yes, air hugs. So hello, everybody. Hello. And please welcome Vanessa. Vanessa, how are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for
So
asking.
cheers to Friday.
Yes. Cheer to Friday and everything else.
So you were explaining to me what you're drinking. I'm always drinking wine. I'm so like I don't know. I guess I'm just lazy. I'm like, this is good. I've got wine.
I don't know what's happening to me. Like, I was a big wine drinker, and now I'm like, I don't know what it is. I'm like reaching maturity. I like Bloody Marys. Like,
Oh, Bloody
I
Marys are
don't know what.
good though. Mm.
I didn't like Bloody Marys when I met Roger for the first time. I was like, ew, Bloody Marys. And now I'm like all about them. I'm like, I'm a grown up now.
Yes, we're adulting. That's what we do.
Yes, adulting. So yeah, this is a
Awesome.
guava margarita. It has a guava, tahini, and jalapenos. So it's yum.
That sounds delicious. So it's spicy and sweet.
Yes, it's
Yum.
really
I love it. I love it. So Vanessa is here with us. Again, we are celebrating Women's History Month. We're closing out the month. We've had a slew of females on that have just been real women doing real things extraordinarily. And, you're no different in that fact. And so, or in that matter, I know that, Vanessa was in the military, and actually the way we met was through your hubby because
yes.
we went to NCO Academy back in Nam. It was
That's
so long
crazy.
ago. Yeah.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, so we were in NCO Academy way back when, and then Roger got stationed here, right? And then he brought
Mhm.
this cute, beautiful little girl coming bouncing into my house, and I was like, who is this girl? She's adorable. I freaking love it. And you guys
Oh
are
my
just so
gosh.
amazing, and I saw that whole span happen, so that was wonderful. So we met through your hubs, and it's been great. I miss you guys though. I mean, I miss you guys
We
being
miss
here in
you
San
too.
Antonio.
We really miss San Antonio. We miss our friends, and Mississippi is really, really nice and we love it here, but we just miss San Antonio.
Yeah, I hope you guys are coming to visit eventually soon. That would be fun.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
should
for
be
sure.
planning on it. Yeah.
Yeah, at least for like a rock show when those happen.
I know they had some here in Mississippi, but they're like very almost unsafe with their crowd and stuff. So we were just like, we'll wait a little bit. We'll go to San Antonio and do it over there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and nothing's happening, I think, until 2022, it seems. It's kind of a little crazy still.
Yeah, it's a
But
little out there.
yeah, it's all good though. But I'm so happy to have you on. So I wanted to specifically have somebody with your background on, and I was like, you're the perfect person, just
Oh,
because within this last year, it's just been so difficult with COVID and with the pandemic and people having to deal with this, situation, which nobody
yeah.
ever, nobody saw this coming, that in 2021 we would still be dealing with this. So
Yeah.
Vanessa, tell us a little bit about your background. I know, we were all military at one point, and you're an Army vet. So tell us a little bit
Mhm.
about your background on where you started in the military.
Yeah. So I was graduating high school and I was trying to figure out what my next step was. I didn't know if I wanted to be a nurse. I didn't know anything. When you graduate high school, you don't know anything. So I was approached by an Army ROTC instructor. He was offering me like a scholarship to go to school full ride. He was saying that there was a big need for nurses in the military, and I definitely felt the need to serve. So I took him up on his offer. I went through the Army ROTC route, so did 4 years of schooling to get my bachelor's in nursing, and they paid for that. They also trained me in just different things, leadership development, because when you commission and when you graduate college, you come out as a second lieutenant, and you have to be ready to lead and everything else. So on top of learning nursing, I was learning Army at the same time. Graduated, and my first duty station as a commissioned second lieutenant was Brooke Army Medical Center, and it was such an amazing learning experience. And they put you through an Army nurse residency program so that you're well established with your skills and that you can provide care in, theater and also in the States. So they just kind of get you prepared for that. And shortly after becoming second lieutenant, you become a first lieutenant. And then after first lieutenant, you go for your boards. You have to compete in the Army to meet the captain board and kind of just show all these different things you've done as a second and first lieutenant. And a lot of that included, being on committees, working with hospitals, discussing patient safety, and also doing Army things on the side. Aside from nursing, it's two different worlds. Are you being an Army soldier, but are you also being a really good Army nurse? So it's really different. And then after that, I decided I wanted to move into critical care. So the Army has one of the best critical care programs. So they put you through a critical care residency. It's very, very difficult program. A lot of people end up failing out only because they want you to be very educated on human anatomy, physiology, critical care thinking, all that stuff. So I did that.
So it's a super tough course, but you kicked ass, basically.
Yeah. Thank you. I tried my best. I tried and I skied through. So it's a team effort. You have a lot of students that are also trying to get through it, and we kind of just help each other and rally together and embrace the suck. So we did that. You do that program for about 6 months, I believe, if I remember. It was like from January to May. And then I was promoted to captain, and then at that point I had finished the critical care residency program. I moved to Washington, D.C. and worked at Walter Reed for a while, and that was awesome. It was so rewarding. I absolutely loved it. And then after that, I went ahead and moved to the civilian sector and enjoyed that. And I've been working in military facilities and been also working in civilian hospitals that are not military. And that's really where I've kind of progressed and brought in my skill base as a critical care nurse.
Awesome. So you went it was about 5 years, right? So you did 5 years of active duty, and then now you've transitioned into the civilian sector as a nurse. As an RN. Awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. And then, so when critical care, and then in the civilian sector, what is your role, and what have you been, is it critical care as well, or is it something different?
It's critical care. A lot of it has to do bedside nursing. I work with really, really critical patients on ventilators. They're usually on multiple medications to support their blood pressure. We're supporting every organ, and of course, everything has gotten a lot worse with COVID. So kind of just trying to adapt what we've learned in critical care period, but adapt to what does it mean for a COVID diagnosis. So on top of that, I got my MSN and my MBA last year, which is like a master's in nursing administration. And then I got my master's in business administration, to just see what I could do with that. What could I contribute to the nursing world and everything else?
Because you're a rock star, man. It's impressive. It's impressive. And she's done it in such a short period of time. I think most nurses have to do it. It's a much longer timeline, no?
Yeah. A lot of nurses, their passion is at the bedside. So for their education, they kind of hold off until they're really ready for it. Or they want to get that skill base before they go advance their education. It's a very serious thing to advance your education in nursing, because then you also take an additional responsibility. So yeah, it may be longer for others, but it's because they really want to advance their skill, and they're just so passionate about bedside. When I move from bedside or move away from a patient and go into like an administrative road, it's going to be heartbreaking, because that's where your passion is at.
Gotcha. So how have you seen, since we've, been in the pandemic since March of last year? How have you seen the shift in care and how you deal with the care?
It's been so rough. I think that what's been rough for a lot of nurses, well, you have like two different sides, you have the nurses that really aren't exposed to COVID patients because they don't work in the COVID ICUs. They don't work in the COVID floors. So they don't really see what it's all about. And for nurses like myself and my coworkers, you're in and out of a COVID ICU. You're taking care of those patients. It's rough. It's hard. It's hard work. It takes a lot of emotional agility to get through a shift, because what you think the patient's going to make it, they're a young patient. They have no comorbidities, no history, medical really in their background, and they're not pulling through. It's just really sad. And so it takes a lot of emotional rallying between you and your coworkers to be like, okay, today's a new day. We're going to do our best and see what we can do for this patient and their family members, because since the pandemic has hit, hospitals have been very tough on their visitation policies. And so these family members, the last time they see their family is when they're entering the hospital with a COVID diagnosis.
Mhm.
They're not seeing them while they're in the intensive care unit. So as you're trying to rally the patient and trying to take care of them, you also need to keep in mind that there is a family out there waiting for them. So that emotionally hits a lot of patients. And I know myself, it hits me a lot. I don't want to be the one to call a family member to say, like, I'm so sorry, to call you to let you know that your husband, your dad, your father, your wife, your sister, your mother passed away.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
And so I think that's where our shift has really happened. We're taking that role of just, it's just really sad. It's a really sad transition, unfortunately.
Because I'm sure from prior, it was, you've had those situations, right, that you had to deal with
Yeah.
specifically, but not in such a large quantity, probably, right?
Yeah. And family members were allowed to be at the bedside. I mean, I'm fortunate in that the family at my facility is allowed to be at the bedside, only one person. And they're able to see them if they get worse, if their diagnosis or their prognosis seems to be worse. But in other instances, family members are not allowed to see them. So prior to this, you were allowed to have like all family members there. They're able to experience the transition and make a sound decision on what they wanted to do for their care.
Gotcha. And then that's now shifted all onto you.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
And the healthcare team, the doctors,
Mhm.
it's hitting them really hard too, because they just want to save their patient, and it's been very, very hard on them as well.
So how have you and your coworkers, I mean, I know you rely on each other, but how have you specifically and personally been dealing with you and your emotional well-being and your physical well-being to be able to take care of these patients in such a large influx?
Well, unfortunately, I would say that we probably rely on coffee a little too much. And caffeine, and we try to go out with each other as much as we can, just to spend some time and away from patient care. We talk about our emotions. If we feel like crying, we cry. If there's something emotionally really happening during that time. I even had a time where a patient was passing on my shift, and it was my patient. And it hit me really hard, because I had been speaking with the families all day about this patient's prognosis. And my coworker saw how hard it was for me to be on the phone to tell her, I'm sorry to call you to let you know, but this is happening. And she got the phone from my hand and she was like, I got this, Vanessa, go, like, I can take care of this. And then you can come back when you're ready. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what we do for each other.
That's good. You've got a great system, like a network in place to be able to kind of lean on. That's fantastic. So I'm going to shift gears just a little bit and go back to, Women's History. What does Women's History Month mean to you? I've been asking all of my folks that have come on what it means to them.
It means adversity. It means that we've really overcome a lot of stuff. We're very strong women, and thankful for all the women who have sacrificed a lot of things to put us in the position that we're in now. Just like reading a lot of books on women's history and seeing a lot of documentaries. It's just crazy to me the restrictions we had as women when we're all the same. We're all human beings, and we're thought of less of. And I think that it's just so amazing that we had women that have come before us to kind of put us in a place where we're able to make our own decisions. We're able to make our own money, and we're able to be independent, you know, away from a husband. We don't have to be that person stuck at the house, you know, though there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But you know, that we're able to go off and do our own thing. I think that's amazing. And I'm so thankful for all the women that have done that before us.
Yeah, we have the choice, right? We have the
Yeah,
choice.
exactly. And that's what it comes down to, having a choice to do what you want to do and how you like to do it.
Exactly. Awesome. So who has influenced you the most in your
My
life?
mom. My
Oh,
mom. I love my mom. She is my saving grace. I love her. She is so amazing, and I hope to be the woman that she's like, even just half of her, because she's so selfless. She does everything for her children, everything for her husband, and to even think about doing something for herself just is like, oh God, I can't do that. And I'm just, you know, she's so selfish, and she grew up in a very rough life. And, you know, when she came to the United States and, you know, obtained her citizenship and everything, she was still working like pretty much from 5 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. at night, just trying to make ends meet so that me and my family members had food. I can't imagine doing that, you know, and I mean, I'm sure I could find a decent job, but I can't imagine the work that she had to go through, working in fields from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., just trying to feed her babies and her family. It's just amazing to me. And it's astounding that she was able to do all of that and still raise children and provide for her, be there for her husband and be there for her family. And I think it's amazing. She's an amazing woman. I love her.
awesome. Well, she sounds amazing. That's fantastic. I love it. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everything that you and your counterparts do for us from the military side, from the civilian side, our first responders and our healthcare workers, number one. So I appreciate it. And I thank you guys so much. And thank you for being on, and cheers. Again, it's Friday, it's the weekend. So thank you so much. It was so nice to see you. It's been so long. And I hope that you're coming out to San Antonio when all of this clears and we can have a drink like in person.
Yes, I can't wait. I cannot wait. I'm so excited to just hang out with y'all. And I know Roger misses you so much. So
We
I
miss
can't wait to
y'all.
just hang out again.
Yes, we miss y'all so much. But thank you again. And I hope you have a great weekend and we'll see you soon. I hope.
All right.
Fingers crossed. And for everybody else, we'll see you guys next weekend. We have some more fun stuff in store for you for the next week, Friday's edition. So stay tuned. We'll see you then. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you.